The dynamic between Donald Trump and Mark Carney at this year's G7 summit in Kanananis, Alberta wasn't just political, it was psychological warfare. And the real story? It wasn't in the words spoken, it was in the look on Mark Carney's face. From the moment Trump entered, the power imbalance was obvious. Carney's composed exterior quickly cracked, shifting from polite attentiveness to barely concealed panic. His eyes darted like he was searching for an exit. His body tensed. This wasn't just a meeting of global leaders, it was a masterclass in power dynamics, with Trump firmly in control and Carney visibly unraveling. Carney's introduction of Trump was a train wreck from the start. He stumbled through an awkward birthday wish wrong by several days, then segued into congratulating the U.S. military on its 250th anniversary, somehow tying it to the G7's 50th birthday. The speech felt unrehearsed, scattered, as if Carney was buying time, unsure of his next move. And the repetition? Telling. This is the 50th birthday of the Seven. The G7 is nothing without U.S. leadership, your personal leadership. It wasn't admiration, it was submission. Meanwhile, Trump was the image of confidence, relaxed, unshaken, dominant. He didn't just stand at the podium, he owned it. He mocked left-wing ideology, took jabs at Trudeau and Obama, and torched the decision to kick Russia out of the G8. He wasn't playing nice. He was making it clear. He's back, and he's not here to whisper, Carney. He looked like he was watching a carefully built illusion, the globalist consensus, get bulldozed in real time. This summit wasn't about global cooperation. It was about who bends and who breaks. And Mark Carney? He bent. Trump wasn't done. Taking direct aim at the war in Ukraine, he declared flatly, it used to be the G8, until Obama and a person named Trudeau kicked Russia out. That was a mistake. You wouldn't have a war right now if they were still at the table. It was more than a political jab, it was a calculated gut punch aimed directly at the liberal establishment. And standing right there, caught in the verbal crossfire, was Mark Carney. His face said it all, a forced half smile. Darting eyes, silent, powerless. The man once known as Trudeau's economic brain, the central banker turned statesman, was now forced to silently endure as Trump torched his former boss and dismantled the very policies Carney helped build. And Trump didn't stop there. He pivoted hard into immigration. With fire in his tone, he vowed to deport millions, blaming Biden for letting in killers, gang members, and dangerous criminals. The message was loud and clear. Trump was here to fight for national borders. And anyone championing open immigration was in his sights? Mark Carney? He's been a longtime ally of the Century Initiative, a plan to balloon Canada's population to 100 million by the year 2100. It's a policy grounded in globalist ambition, one that critics say is detached from economic and cultural reality. And here was Trump, torching the entire vision in front of the world. Carney looked stricken. This wasn't a debate. This was a political exorcism. Trump was unraveling the liberal worldview, Carney's worldview, one issue at a time. And then, the moment that said it all, as Trump paused, letting his words hang in the air like smoke, Carney tried meekly to step back in. If you don't mind, I'm going to exercise my role as G7 chair, he muttered. But it was too late. The tone had been set. The audience had already seen who had control. Trump didn't need to interrupt. He'd already won. This wasn't just a bad day for Carney. It was an exposure of weakness, of detachment, of the crumbling credibility of a technocrat elite caught flat-footed in a world that's moving on. And for millions watching across Canada, the U.S. and beyond it confirmed what they already suspected. Mark Carney may hold titles, but Donald Trump holds the room. Trump's response, "You may, Mark," dripped with condescension. It was just a few words, but it said everything. Carney wasn't asserting authority. He was asking permission. And Trump? He granted it, like a CEO indulging an assistant. Because in that room, he wasn't just a guest. He was the one calling the shots. From that point forward, the tone was locked. Reporters addressed their questions to Trump, not Carney. Even Canada's own Prime Minister faded into the background, a bystander at his own summit. When trade came up, Trump bulldozed through Carney's carefully calibrated economic lingo. No charts, no jargon. Just straight, sharp, tariff-first talk. Carney had nothing in return. No rebuttal, no resistance, just silence and stiff nods. There was no debate, no real dialogue, just Trump laying down terms and Carney shrinking in real time. And for swing voters watching back home, the image was crystal clear. Trump was the dominant force. Carney was outmatched. Leadership isn't just about policy, it's about presence. And in that moment, Carney had none. He couldn't defend allies. He couldn't counter Trump's populist rhetoric. He couldn't even steer the conversation. He was, in every sense, a follower. And that begs the question, if Carney can't hold his ground against Trump in a staged, friendly setting like the G7, how would he handle China, Russia, OPEC? How would he represent Canada on the global stage, or even survive a federal debate? Because what this summit exposed was bigger than one. Man's awkward silence. It revealed the ideological chasm between Trump's nationalist surge and the globalist orthodoxy Carney represents, and it showed just how unprepared that orthodoxy is to fight back. Faced with that clash, Carney didn't engage. He retreated. And that's not leadership. That's surrender. By the time the summit ended, Carney looked like a man who had just walked through a political minefield and realized, too late, he wasn't wearing boots. The camera. But the damage had already been done. Everything had been caught on video, the long pauses, the tight smiles that didn't quite feel genuine, and the moments of silence that felt heavy and uncomfortable. For viewers at home, and especially for voters trying to judge whether he's ready to lead, those unscripted moments said far more than any speech ever could. In politics, appearances matter. And the way this situation played out didn't reflect well on Carney. It wasn't just that he stumbled, it's that he couldn't regain control. He didn't manage to shift the tone, recenter the conversation, or hold the room. In that moment, he didn't lose just the message, he lost the momentum, and with it, the sense of leadership. True leaders don't just show up to meetings, they take charge, set the tone, and lead with confidence. But here, Carney struggled to do any of that. Instead, he faded into the background, while Donald Trump dominated the space and the moment. What should have been a strong showing turned into a missed opportunity, one that was recorded and broadcast for all to see. Carney came across less like a future prime minister and more like someone unsure of their place on the political stage. If this moment was a test of leadership under pressure, the results weren't encouraging. And for someone aiming to lead Canada, that matters. Because leadership isn't just about what you say, it's about how you carry yourself when it counts. In this case, Carney didn't just lose his footing, he went quiet. And that silence left a lot of people drawing their own conclusions. Thanks for watching. If this moment teaches us anything, it's that real leadership has to be shown, not just claimed. Stay with us as we continue to follow the stories shaping Canada's political future.